Welcome back everyone. So being that we haven't covered any type of SnowRunner content here in the last few weeks because of getting sidetracked from playing new games like Manor Lords, and also we did play MudRunner, which I absolutely thoroughly enjoyed, and I highly recommend it by the way. Today I felt I would express some things that I have expounded upon greatly during my live streams as an unfiltered podcast rant. For a long time now, I've wanted to formulate and deliver my sincere thoughts on the game from the eyes of my experience and perspective on what I feel could be a big problem with SnowRunner. A lot of folks may disagree with these thoughts, and that is totally okay. Keep in mind that I'm speaking purely of my perspective, so here we go. For the last few years, I've been a consumer, a player, a tester, a streamer, and a content creator, essentially in that order for SnowRunner. And during that time, I've noticed that a single class has become way too strong. In my opinion, they destroy the other class's appeal. During my early days of SnowRunner back in 2020, my understanding of class structure to my understanding was pretty clear. The highway, heavy duty, and off-road classes all had abilities to have tons of add-ons, except a few outliers. The classes differentiated themselves with performance. The off-road trucks generally perform better, followed by the heavy duty class, and you get my point here. These classes I also considered the trucks to push the mission day in and day out. Sparingly, I would reach for what I felt was the last resort or a contingency, which was a heavy class truck. These I felt were reserved for times where you've exhausted all other options and you had to bring in a specialized truck for large trailer hauls, impressive rescues, and overall strong support. However, even though my perspective really hasn't changed on how I feel these trucks should be used, the rate at which we were receiving the newest hybrid type heavy class trucks developed is quite concerning. A vehicle I believe coined the phrase Super Heavy was the 605R. Ah, yes, that phrase, Super Heavy. Some folks believe this phrase is a literal meaning for the heaviest trucks in the game, but I actually have always seen it more akin to that of a superhero, being that they have amazing performance, add-on capabilities that rival any truck, and this leads to exceptional versatility. The 605R debuted in Season 4 and completely shocked us with its sheer performance, yet its weight is actually outside the top 10. The absurd amount of add-ons the truck had at this time was also equally stunning. Today, the evolution of the heavies, folks now basically claim it doesn't have enough add-ons. So where am I going with this? Well, there has been a trend. Almost every DLC ensuing Season 8, Saber would introduce another heavy truck that effectively can hold some of the most powerful add-ons in the game, if not more add-ons than most trucks in the game. This was also seen with the standalone DLCs like the Mastodon and also the updated version of the Azov Atom. Looking back at prior DLCs, Ontario, which was Season 9, brought us the Dairy Special. British Columbia Season 10 was the Kenworth, and then we got the Mastodon DLC somewhere in between Season 9 and 10. After that was the Femme in Season 12, the new buffed version of the Azov Atom in Season 13, and now the Plaid in Season 13 as well. All of these said trucks that I just listed for you have many add-ons and also add-on combinations. You might ask, what is the issue? Well, the issue at hand is when you allow trucks of that type of raw performance the ability to have every add-on that most smaller truck classes have, you effectively replace every other class, rendering them lesser and unappealing. Truly, why use a smaller truck when you can just use a Mastodon and hold the gas trigger with no worries? At least the 605R left some room for the smaller classes to still shine. The 605R is probably where I would have capped add-on capabilities for heavy class trucks with a few exceptions. The most common rebuttal I hear when ranting on stream, admittedly more than I should be, is, then just don't use those trucks, Nate. And my reply to this is simply, I haven't. And since late February 2023 when Season 9 debuted, I have tried to stay away from Super Heavies in hopes to feel the difficulty and immersive gameplay of old. Do I want to have more time in the newer trucks? Absolutely. But the game doesn't feel good when every new truck is a clear S-tier powerhouse that basically is a participant in the coup de grace of the smaller hauling class trucks. So to conclude my rant here, I understand that big trucks help to sell DLCs, and it's obvious that sales are better as of late. However, even though standalone DLCs like the Brigadier did very poorly from sources I cannot disclose, I wish we would have trucks introduced with legitimate performance inhibiting downsides that drivers need to work around. The Azov Addon was kind of that truck when it first arrived, but now with its changes on the PTS for Season 13, there aren't really any true downsides anymore. The Year 3 pass had some amazing maps, and a lot of you folks here rated them very easy, but I believe the perspective of difficulty is directly related to machinery used. The Heavy class now has the most amount of vehicles, and its ranks have been swelling not with sheer numbers, but with easy mode trucks that totally negate the difficulty intended by the map developers. Yet I still hold hope that other classes will see additions that are essentially not the next best thing. As a player, I find it very immersive and pleasing to actively mitigate a truck's weaknesses and also play to its strengths. So in closing, I hope that Saber offers some trucks in the future that line up with those of old during this next year of content. So until next time, y'all, God bless and stay upright.